what else can happen to weathermen? I suppose the next thing will be a wedged satellite. Anyway, because all the nosedives in that block of blunders were due to what you might call instrument failure, let's now look at some where the fault can be traced to pilot error. And seeing that so many current affairs commentators nowadays seem to be under the impression that news only exists to bring you them, let's start in that field. Specifically, an American newsreel man who came over to Scotland to film a story on local reactions to North Sea oil and found himself interviewing a young fisherman who didn't so much speak English with a faint trace of accent, he spoke accent with a faint trace of English.
What has been the reaction of most of the people in the fishing industry here to the establishment of the North Sea oil rigs?
Well, it's just how horrible you get.
Is there much fear among the people here that the oil may spread and come onto this coastline?
Oh, it's burned out. The wind changes again.
Thank you very much.
That's the sort of confrontation known, I believe, in the interviewing trade as picking a wrong-un. And our delvings into cutting room dustbins delivered many similar examples of how an interviewer can achieve that seemingly impossible trick of being at the same time in hot water and on thin ice.
This is the fallacy that, you know, the white man constantly spouts about we are moving, you see. And we ain't moved a inch, you know, not 1 inch have we moved.
You have to start that again because you can't go out of England.
Oh, he can't?
No.
Well, see, then you should have told me before I started that, you know, I had to, you know, I couldn't, there were certain things I could say and that I couldn't say.
Is out.
Okay.
Is this a plane that can run well on one engine?
It runs best on one engine. That's all it has.
Now, this is really a result of a lifetime of ferreting, as far as you're concerned, isn't it?
I had them first when I was 8.
Whereabouts was this? Is this in Yorkshire?
Lichfield.
Yeah. Ow, ow, ow! I'm sorry.
Sorry, let it go. Put it on the floor. It will hurt you.
It is hurting.
Put it down. If you just hold on to mine.
I can't take on to anything.
Now, this must be the climax of the situation. If that had meant business, it would have been through to the bone. She's playing with him.
Well, this is the most astonishing model aircraft I've ever seen in my life. Can you tell me something about it? It's massive.
I'll try to. It's taken 3 years, and 6 people have actually built it, besides myself. It has some very unique features. First of all, the airplane itself is unique, in as much that this airplane's not very well documented as to its actual war record. And it did 43 missions and never returned from the 44th. And this is the 44th today. Obviously, with it being so complicated, I have a very good ground crew, and they've taken almost 6 months to familiarise themselves with all the various checks we have. In fact, it's just like full size. We have a complete checklist for every part of the airplane.
And today's the big day.
Today's the big day.
Despite your applause at that moment of disaster, I'm sure you'll all be glad to know that it finally did get airborne, and today it is fully operational. Probably as a shuttle service for Ronnie Corbett. But what our research project did confirm was the axiom that for any adult to take part in a filming session that's got kids in it can only be compared to being given the part of Yorick in Hamlet.
Please, why don't you want to play a game of gin rummy?
I'd love to, Roger, but I think maybe you better check with your mother first.
How'd you know she's my mother?
Oh, just premonition.
What? What's that?
It's what I said that was wrong. It's intuition, not premonition.
Hey, what are you going to do with all those? What are you going to do with all these?
Du ska spisa dem. Du ska
If
spisa
you
dem.
like it, have a lick.
Prinsessan, han spår hvis du liker dem. Skal vi smake på det? Smake på det, ja.
Some you win, some you lose.
Come on, let's try a couple. Come on, let's try a couple. Oh.
Now it's time for a break, but stay tuned because we'll be talking to Andy Marriott talking about the South African Grand Prix. Grand Prix? Yeah, Grand Prix. He's got here Grand Prix.
Which only goes to confirm Mark Twain's observation that the French tend to pronounce better than they spell. But equally as adept as children at turning a film's high hopes into low moans are any species of third, feathered or four-footed creatures. And for proof of that, here's a typical wildlife preserve, in the first of which, may I advise you, watch the birdie.
Take 3.
Really, it's quite amazing the fuss men make over this St. Bruno thing. I mean, all they ever talk about are the cooler, smoother, slower burning virtues of that mild St. Bruno blend. Sometimes I think they're
Ben,
happy.
sit up. Sit right up. Are we friends? Shake hands. How do you do? Come here. Come here, Ben.
I think he wants to take a walk, Rosalie. Where we get your mic cable here. I think we kind of got unplugged here.
Anna, Timothy, yes, most amazing news. Your uncle Emlyn. Your Uncle Emlyn has died and left you for...
Yeah, I have a full suspicion of
Snitchy Witch has escaped again and is coming here. You look after Pepper, Sarah. I know what to do.
What, Uncle?
I shall combine these 2 sets of chemicals and make a very powerful glue. There. Mix them all together. Now, we'll watch the Snitchy Witch.
As you can hear and see, is really hotting up here with the arrival of the Scottish team. We hope in just a moment to have a quick word with Alan McLeod, the team manager.
I can't tell you how good it is.
Put that comedy cat back in the house after feeding it free. It eats nothing but liver. $7.98 a pound.
Shut up and meet Christian. 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 I've only known her 10 weeks.
Well, they were the kind of outtakes which, after our last compilation, led to the question we were most frequently asked: how do the actors and actresses themselves react to this type of program? Because after all, when you put together a whole hour showing distinguished members of the acting profession doing nothing but fumbling, floundering and fizzling out, well, it could rather give the impression that the entire membership of Equity might profitably be replaced with some form of silicone chip. So how do the injured parties react to seeing themselves falling apart?
You think, first of all, this is the end of my career now.